Hello? Oh god, my internet went out, so I have to restart VTube Studio server. Oh no. Um, there we go. I'm alive again. Woo! Why is it showing that? Don't look at that. You don't want to see any of that. Hello! We'll see how long I can stream before everything goes to shit again. Woo! Yes, I'm back on Wi-Fi, and I am dropping less frames now, so hopefully that is gonna stay that way. I hope. Yeah, I might cancel my other stream this week while I figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do with the internet here, but, in the meantime, here we are. We're playing nothing. We're talking about video games. Whoa! Imagine that. People talking about video games is honestly the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. I don't know why anyone would ever do such a thing. But, let's see, who all is here? Cornelius, howdy dot, hello, Ilya, hello, Idle, howdy, Peering, howdy, Disrobo, hello, Barf-chan, hello, Azure, hello, Farmsteads, hello, Doinks, hello, Buried Salmon, howdy, Call me a howdy. Oh, I should figure out some sort of BGM for this, huh? Let me peruse my library. La di da di da di da di la di da di da di la di da di. Oh, Cornelius.
Demon Fang! I still like Demon Fang! Damn, I must be a genius!
Double Demon Fang. Thank you for the gift subs, Cornelius. Okay, let's see. Let's put on the SimCity 3000 soundtrack to start. That's a good place to start, I think. You can't hear it yet, I know. Let me know how that audio level is.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Top 100 Gamer 1, Ninja 2, Red.
Ninja and Ren at the top. So true. Is the music too loud? Just right? Tell me how you feel about the SimCity 3000 soundtrack. Do you like the SimCity 2000 soundtrack more? I might, but I don't have that one downloaded, so sorry. Also, if the stream quality is shit, sorry about that. So hopefully, since we're on a static image for the entire stream, it should not be much of a problem. Alright. I don't know how to, like, get into the start of this stream, but, basically, I was watching our very own _level talk about her top 100 video games, and I was like, wow, that looks fun, I should make a list. And upon making the list, I realized I don't have like 100 games for the list, really. It was too many games for a gamer like me. I've played way more than 100 games, but the last like 25 that I came up with were not very meaningful, so I just scrapped them instead. Soul Stuff, hello. And real quick, this is a template by MDC Chris, so I'll do a little shout out there. Hopefully that's right. If it's not, I'm sorry. So yeah, with that out of the way, I guess we can just start going through our list. I'm gonna go through them one by one and say some stuff about them. Hopefully you enjoy that kind of thing. Or maybe find some games you would like to play. Or none of that, and that's okay too. Alright, starting with number 75. It's Super Mario Maker. This is a bad inclusion on the list because I've never played the original Super Mario Maker. I've only played Super Mario Maker 2, but my understanding is Super Mario Maker 1 is better in every single way. So I put the first one on here because I assume I would like it more than 2. I did have a good time with 2, but my levels were too hard so no one would play them. So I stopped playing it. It's a real bummer when nobody wants to play your levels. It's very sad. Maybe you could play my levels. Not that I want you to do that or anything, but Baka. I'm trying a new thing here. Let me know how you like it. All right, Super Mario Maker. Fun, fun, fun in the sun. All right, number 74. I don't remember what this one is. It's Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. Bowser, please kill my bus driver. I think that's the first one, but I could be wrong. I also am not sure if I'm familiar with that level. So Pac-Man Championship Edition DX, which I'll now call Pac-Man DX because that's easier. That's just a really good game. The original Pac-Man never really grabbed my interest. And then I guess the first Pac-Man I ever got into was Pac-Man. It's one of the time traveling ones, but I feel like I always get the name of it wrong. But it was on PC, and Pac-Man traveled through time. It might have been Adventures in Time, or that might be a different game, I'm not sure. And that was okay, but you know. Then fast forward 2 decades, I don't know how many years it was actually, but Bamco decided they wanted to revitalize their classic arcade series with a series name that I don't remember. But the first of those was Pac-Man Championship Edition, which, if you've never seen it, is like, it's like Pac-Man, but you it's like streamlined, kinda. So you go around, you eat the dots, and then on half the maze, if you eat the dots appear on the other side of the maze, and the maze changes when you go and eat the dots on one side of the maze. And I liked that, but I don't really know why. I'm having a hard time remembering what it was missing that made me like DX so much, but DX is the sequel, and it adds a bunch of modes and extra levels and shit. And if you've ever like played Pac-Man and been like, this is cool, but this is too hard for me, a bad gamer, you should check out Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. It's on Steam, I think, and it's pretty cheap usually. You go fast. There's grinding in it, not like grinding EXP, but like rail grinds. Sparking? Is that what they called it? I don't remember. Anyway, after these two games, they made Galaga Legions, and that sold so poorly they completely abandoned the idea. Oh geez, I've deselected my box. Come on, select the box. There we go. Number 73, it's Project Gotham Racing 4. I think I originally had this as Forza Motorsport 3 or 4 originally. And I was like, nah, I like PGR more. So I replaced it with a PGR game. I never played the original Xbox PGRs. I've played a little bit of Metropolitan Street Racer. But this is a racing game by Bizarre Creations, creators of Geometry Wars. And it's real good arcadey fun, and when you do silly slides and stuff, you get things called kudos, which are like points. And it's fun. It's just a really fun racing game. It also had a soundtrack that got me into a few bands, so that was cool. Believe it or not, this game is the first time I had ever heard My Chemical Romance, so that's something. You could also play Geometry Wars in it, which automatically makes it a better game. And yeah, it's just, if you like arcadey racers, it's real good. Mojave, hello. Yeah, Bizarre Creations, I think, got eaten up by Activision and then shit out. I think the remainder of the team made Blur, maybe? I never played Blur, but I think people liked that. Yeah, PGR 4. Oh, did they make the club? Is that them? Or was that the Need for Speed team? I don't remember. But yeah, yet another casualty of Activision buying every company and then doing nothing with it. Alright, number 72, it's Jak and Daxter. This was one of the first PS2 games I played, and I have not played it in a good decade or so. So I don't have anything much to say about it right now. I do plan on streaming it at some point so I can get a refresher on it. Hopefully I end up liking it as much as I used to. I forget, there may not be a single Ratchet & Clank game on this list, even though I considered that one of my favorite series prior to replaying it on stream. And then I did not really enjoy it nearly as much as I used to. So hopefully, Jak and Daxter will hold up in retrospect. It's a pretty good platformer, and you collect things. Yeah, that's about all I've got. Oh, I did, Jak 2 came out, and I was really excited for a new Jak and Daxter, so I rented it from Blockbuster. And I popped it in and I was like, what the fuck is this? But I didn't say fuck because I was a good child. But I never got very far in Jak 2. I purchased it a few years back, but still haven't really played it, so maybe that will be another stream game. We'll see. And number 71, it's Team Fortress 2. This is definitely my favorite multiplayer shooter I've ever gotten into. Not that I have gotten into more than 2 of them. I really liked Team Fortress 2 for a while. For ages, I didn't have a PC that could run it very well, so I was stuck playing on the Xbox 360 version, which had none of the updates. But it was still good fun, and I got really good at Demo Man there. Then I switched to the PC version finally. That was also fun. I never got very good at the PC version, but really good game. I wish people would play that instead of Overwatch. Well, hi! Thank you for the gift subs to Barry Salmon and Ilya. By the way, Overwatch was the second multiplayer shooter I ever got into, and after like 50 hours of that, I never wanted to play it again. Which is not the case with Team Fortress 2. I would still play Team Fortress 2 today. Number 70, it's Minecraft. Everybody loves Minecraft. Like, when I do play Minecraft, I enjoy it a lot. I play it on and off. I'll go several years without playing Minecraft. I had a brief period of hating Minecraft for reasons that were really not Minecraft's fault. Yeah. It's still pretty good. You go and you build stuff. And that's Minecraft, baby. Number 60 nice. It's Earthbound. Woo! Fun fact, I think Earthbound is the first JRPG I ever finished on an emulator. Because I lose focus on games very quickly if I don't have physical copies of them to remind me that I was playing them. It's been like at least 8 years since I've played Earthbound, which is why it's so low on the list. There's a lot of recency bias in this list, which is fine because I would like to redo this list next year and we can see how things change. But yeah, it's been like 8 years since I've played this, but I remember liking it a lot. It does a lot of very silly systems. Not a lot, actually, but it has silly systems. The whole game is very silly and has wonderful atmosphere. And I liked it a whole lot. The, jokes, it's kind of weird that a game from the 90s is still funnier than the majority of any video games, but that's where it is. I haven't played Mother or Mother 3 yet, so I'd like to do that at some point as well and see how they stack up. But it's good. Undertale is not on this list, but Undertale is in the same vein as Earthbound, and I liked Earthbound more, so that's how it ended up here. Red Blue Fire, hello. Yeah, some games that try to be Earthbound and fail are very painful, but I feel like, oh hi, thank you for the gifts to Red Blue Fire. I don't know, I feel like Earthbound was a driving force behind a lot of, at least the American RPG Maker games. I'm not so sure about the Japanese ones, but real good game, and it has a good legacy. And it's weird that Ness is a character in Smash, because he has very little characterization in the game. That's another weird thing about Earthbound, is you don't find out a lot about the character. It's just the world around you that's happening, and it's wonderful. Okay. Why did I do a Little John? Okay. Number 68, it's Karano Shoujo. This is a visual novel. Not to be confused with Katawa Shoujo, which is an American-made visual novel. This is a Japanese visual novel. and it is extremely graphic, and I don't recommend it if you're not comfortable with animated gore and uncomfortable sex. But it's a good. It's like Ace Attorney if girls got dismembered a lot. The mystery solving is not nearly as good as Ace Attorney. You pretty much have to use a guide to get through it. But one of my favorite visual novels, and a lot of dismemberment in it. Everyone you get attached to dies. It's pretty good. Are you? Hello. Karno Shoujo 2 has some good moments, but overall not as good as 1. 3 hasn't been translated yet, and Cartogra, the prequel to Karno Shoujo, also pretty good. Ace Attorney should add gay sex to it. Karno Shoujo, unfortunately, not much gay sex. Yeah, it's in like post World War II Japan. There's a serial killer, cuts people up.
Begins here.
Many disturbing scenes. It's good. Soleil, hello, and Mojave, thank you for another gift send. I have the boxed copies of Karno Shoujo 1 and 2 there. I like those games. Number 67! It's Touhou, double dealing character.
A journey to face
Which is
your soul
Touhou 14,
begins
if
here.
you're keeping track. This is my favorite Touhou game, because I find the scoring mechanics very fun. And you just go, you zip around the screen a lot, you shoot stuff, it goes pa-doo. Touhou, it's a good series. My favorite... It's troublesome because 15 is the game with my favorite characters in it overall, but I hate playing it, so 14 wins for actually being a fun game to play. Yeah, play Touhou. I think they're on Steam now. I think like most Touhou games are on Steam all of a sudden. Maybe? Clown Piece throws the moon at you, and it is the worst experience. I also didn't like... It's weird, so I didn't really like UFO, which I think was 12. And I didn't really like 10 Desires, which I think was 13. There's something about the gameplay in those I didn't really like, but pretty much all the other Touhous I like a whole lot. I don't know if they were added recently on... I know 14... Well, that's not true. I know 16 is on Steam, and one of the fighting games, and I think 16.5, 15 point... It's a hard series to keep up with. But, if they're available on Steam, yeah, they're easy to install fan translations for them. Number 66. It's Trails from Zero, a game I played last year. I'm a Trails nerd, a Legend of Heroes nerd, but only a Trails nerd because I've not played the pre-Trails Legend of Heroes games. But if you like JRPGs, it's a really good series. The combat is fun, the stories are good, the characters are great. Trails from Zero, I think, is... So, I haven't played the sequel to this one, and the way the Trails series is laid out is there are like sub-series, so Trails from Zero is the first of the Crossbell games, and there's a sequel where presumably more stuff will happen. But this is my favorite first game in a sub-series, so even though it's not like my favorite overall, it still made the list. There's a cool mystery solving element to it, and you have like 4 party members as opposed to the usual too many of Trails games, and that's real nice. I recommend all of the games except Cold Steel 3 and 4. 65, it's Super Mario Sunshine. Yeah, it's Super Mario Sunshine. Nintendo is really good at making games that I get extremely mad at while playing, but end up liking a lot. And Sunshine is one of those. Luigi's Mansion is not. I thoroughly hated that game. I did not like it at all. But Sunshine from the same console, that's a good game. I need to replay it on an actual GameCube because I played it on an emulator, so I did not get the silly clicky shoulder button. But yeah, Sunshine is such a fun game because it just hates you so much. And I love when games just constantly piss on you. I think it's funny. Oh, Anonymous Gifter, thank you for the gift sub to Dot. SimCity 3000 soundtrack goes off. I do plan on streaming Sunshine at some point as well. 64, it is not Super Mario 64, it's Soul Calibur 2. I would say this is commonly considered the best Soul Calibur game. And it's real good. It's not the Soul Calibur game that is higher up on the list, but it is probably the better of the 2 games that made this list. I had the PS2 version, so I had to fucking get Heihachi, and I was jealous of the GameCube version because that had Link, but I wouldn't admit it because I was a PS2 kid, and I was like, no, Link is lame. Which that's kind of his whole thing, is he's super lame and twinky, and I kind of nice. So Soul Calibur 2 has a cool little story mode that you go through. It's got Heihachi. I like 3D fighters, and Soul Calibur is probably the most approachable of any of them. It's just really straightforward, and you can kind of figure out how to win even if you're not good at the game. You have horizontal attacks, vertical attacks, kicks. I love it. 63, it's Paper Mario, the 1000-Year Door. I'm not winking at you, I'm itching my eye. This is a good game. It is unfortunately gruesomely expensive nowadays, but I didn't like it as much as Paper Mario 1, which may spoil the list, I think. If I forgot to put Paper Mario 1 on here, I apologize to Paper Mario 1. But it's a real good game. I know Paper Mario fans are obnoxious, and they never shut up about Miyamoto ruining the series, but I like Super Paper Mario. The origami one's kind of fun, but 1 and 2 definitely still the best ones. I don't remember a ton about 1000-Year Door because this I also played like 8 years ago, but fun game. I would never wink at chat. Unbelievable. Number 62, it's Portal. I'm gonna drink some tea. How could you not like Portal? It's just a really good puzzle game. I think Portal 2 honestly has some really good mechanics, but the humor does get kind of obnoxious in that one. Whereas it's mostly minimized in one. It's just voiceovers from GLaDOS, and you can ignore them if you don't want to hear it. And yeah, it's Portal. What can I say about Portal? It's just a really good game that I don't think anyone expected to like as much as they did, because the orange box was just a thing you got, and you're like, wow, I get all this Half-Life and this Team Fortress sequel, and then Portal was also on there, and you're like, what's this? And then it turned out to be really good. I miss when Valve made games. Number 61, Red Faction Guerrilla. It's kind of wild how many games from like the late 2000s and early 2010s I have on here. Red Faction Guerrilla, real good game. This was, I think, the first like open world third person shooter type game I ever played, and I still like it a lot. You get a sledgehammer and you can destroy an entire building. There are challenges where you have to destroy an entire building. I've never beat this game because like late in the story there's a thing where you have to drive around in like an ATV or something, and I kept dying doing that. But this is the open world game I would choose to just fuck around in. I never really got Skyrim or Fallout 3. Borderlands was fun for a while, but this was my favorite of that type of game. I have not played really any of the modern ones of this type of game, the open world run around and fuck around type game. They might have gotten better since this, but I think they're the same, probably. Number 60. It's Wii Sports. Wii Sports, you know, it's, you can bowl, what the fuck you want. Number 59, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Did you know that the Phoenix Wright series is very fun and you should play it? It's true. I debated which of these to put on the list, 1 or 3. I never finished my replay of 3, so I guess I just decided to go with 1. Because it's a good game, and I like it more than 2. And Phoenix and Edgeworth are gay, and Maya is cute. Yeah. This whole series is one that I played during the year I had GameFly. I don't know if anybody else ever had GameFly, but the year I had it was actually incredible. I played so many games. Usually, like, prior to that, I would really only ever get games for Christmas, so I would have like 3 or 4 games a year. So having GameFly and just being able to try stuff was real neat, and that's how I played Phoenix Wright, Professor Layton, Ghost Trick, Catherine, Tales of Vesperia. Lots of good games. Alright, hello. GameFly was the Netflix of video games until Netflix became not Netflix. Good times. Number 58. Power Slave. I think the majority of people who have played both Doom and Power Slave would murder me dead for liking Power Slave more than Doom. But Power Slave has a really fun level design. It has a cool progression system. It's like Proto Metroid Prime. It's really weird. There's horrible motion warping. I really enjoyed Power Slave. Definitely one of the best Saturn games out there. I highly recommend it if you have a Sega Saturn or a PC, because they recently released a remastered version that kind of combines all the different versions of the game and fixes a lot of the problems with the Saturn one, but I don't know if I would have liked it as much without all of the problems, so. I'm a weirdo, is what I'm saying. Power Slave, it's a good game. Trust me. 57, it's Quest of Keys. Speaking of shit games I like. I mean, Power Slave's enemies are, I feel like, about as varied as Doom 1, which is to say not very much, but there's enough of them. Quest of Key is a Famicom game. I think it's a spin-off of Tower of Druaga? I think that's the series it comes from. I think. And it's a platformer where you hold a button and you go upwards and you keep going up as long as you hold the button. And if you hit a ceiling, you bump your head and you fall exactly at the vertical axis you're on, vertical line you're on. So if you bump your head over a spike trap, you just slowly fall your way into the spike trap and then spin and die. It's a wonderful game. It has 100 levels, which is way too many, but you can skip most of the early boring ones. And it's really awful, honestly. But I had a lot of fun playing it. It's got really silly physics, and you hold a button and bump your head. I don't know what else to say. Maybe I'll stream this at some point. I did beat this with save states back in the day, so I'm curious if I could beat it without. Number 56, it's Romancing Saga 3. I played the Switch port of this a few years back. I guess probably a few years ago. And I was really surprised by how good it was. It was the first Saga game I played, and it's just a really cool series. I need to play Romancing Saga 2 still, and Saga Frontier, but what a wild series. The final boss of this game kicked my ass so hard that even after grinding for 10 hours, I could not beat it. So I think I haven't quite figured out the right way to play it, but I need to play more Super Nintendo JRPGs because it turns out they're really good. Also, you fight a motorcycle, and the music that plays when you fight the motorcycle is very good. 55, it's Alien Hominid. I was a dork and really liked the Behemoth, the games company, the games developer, the Behemoth. So of course I loved Alien Hominid. It's like Metal Slug, but you're a little alien guy. And it's very hard, but it's pretty fun. I don't have much else to say about it other than this, it like introduced me to the Metal Slug style game, and I probably don't like it as much these days, but it's still pretty fun. Alright, I think the audio got slightly too loud. I'm gonna turn it. Okay, number 54, it's Serious Sam, the second encounter. This is another shooter that boomer shooter fans don't really like that much, I think, but I like Serious Sam. You run around, you kill a lot of stuff, you run in circles, a lot of circles. I like it. Oh, Crystal Blisters, hello. I think most of the reason I'm still fond of this series is because I played it co-op a lot as a teen, and I definitely recommend playing it co-op if you're going to play it, because otherwise you die a lot to things that feel kind of stupid. It's a fun series, at least first encounter and second encounter are. So I guess really the first game is fun, and the rest are okay. Play the originals, not the HD remasters, because the HD remasters use a different physics engine that kind of ruins some segments of the game. Weird. And number 53, it's Oracle of Seasons. This is a game I had as a kid and never got anywhere because I was fucking stupid as a rock. And I played it last year. I like it. It has a cute girl in the opening. And the puzzle design is really fun. It's got a really strange sense of humor as well. That, like, I'm no 2D Zelda expert, but this Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages definitely seem to be where it's at for me. I'm playing through Ages right now. We'll see how it stacks up against Seasons. It's kind of interesting that I feel like I always see them like grouped together when Zelda games are ranked or whatever, but I feel like I'm gonna end up liking Seasons slightly more. I don't know. But real good games, and I love the concept of having two games. Like, they do the Pokemon thing where they release two games at the same time, but they're totally different games, right? And they're not really built around the same concepts is the thing. Like, Oracle of Ages feels like a sequel to Link to the Past. Oracle of Seasons has totally different puzzles and items. Not totally different, some are shared, but there's like a surprising amount of variance between the two games. It's just really bizarre experiencing two games that came out at the same time, and they're both Zelda games, but they're like different. It's wild. It doesn't really matter which you play first. The way they set it up is you can play either one of them first, and then you get a code to continue your adventure in the second game. So the plot is kind of continued from the first one you play. I've only done Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages, so if I stream these, I'll probably do it the other way around. Yeah, you fight Ganon. That detracts from the game, I think. Because I was really excited when I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I don't have to fight Ganon in this game when I beat Oracle of Seasons. But I'm a weirdo. Sorry, Zelda fans. 52, it's N+. If you never played N+, you probably at least played the browser game N. You're a ninja, and things are all gray, and you run around and you run up walls and bounce off walls and shit. The first game with a level editor that I really got into was N+, sharing levels with friends and just making them really mean was a lot of fun. N+, real good game. N++ came out a while back, and it didn't really capture the same feeling for me, even though it's basically the same. I don't know if I'll ever like feel like I want to play N+ again, but it's a good game. You jump around, what can I say? You collect gold, you're a ninja. What more do you want? Celeste is a game I've played, I think like the first 2 chapters of. I'll stream it at some point. Kirby Fighter, hello. Number 51, we're a third of the way through. It's Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh, my back. Kingdom Hearts is a weird series because I don't feel nearly as strongly about it than a lot of people, but 2 is just a really good game, and the plot is pretty good. People act like it's nonsense, but if you play Chain of Memories, it's not. Which I guess the problem is, if you don't play Chain of Memories, it's complete nonsense. Like, I played Kingdom Hearts 2 as a kid, loved it, but I never had any idea what was happening. And then playing Chain of Memories, and then replaying 2, it it's wow, they actually set all of this shit in this game up. Yeah, I haven't played Birth by Sleep or 3 or Dream Drop Distance and all that, but definitely 2 is so far my favorite style of this type of game. I don't really get why they love the menuing RPG live action movement thing, but they did it fairly well in this game. And Goofy's there, and Goofy fucking dies. Number 50, Grandia 2.
Welcome back.
Oh, hi,
to the
thank you for the
stage
sub
of
to Kirby
history.
Fighter.
Sora, Donald, Goofy.
Sora, Donald, Goofy. Young Slav, thank you for 17 months. Wowie woo. Grandia 2. I played this shortly after Earthbound, I think, so again, I don't remember that much about it. But really solid JRPG. And it's silly. There are giant eyeballs. The main character hates God.
Rock solid.
And it turns out the church is evil, so he's justified in hating God. He has a friend Bird. There's a hot demon lady in your party. There's a robot girl in your party. It's just a video game. If you like video games, you gotta play Grandia 2. I started Grandia 1, but I haven't gotten very far in it, so I can't say how they compare. The church is always evil in JRPGs, that's the secret, but... Number 4. Oh, I should also say, Grandia 2, one of the best JRPG combat systems I've ever seen, and there's not a single encounter that makes use of it. Like, it's such a cool system, and they don't do jack shit with it. It's not gay. It's not very gay. It's most of the games on here aren't gay. I apologize. Fiend Egg, hello. Number 49. It's Croc. I know a lot of you were hoping for Croc in the number 1 spot, but all things considered, it's not as good as I lead it out to be. Lead it on to be? I don't know. But I feel comfortable saying Croc is the 49th best game of all time. Most people who play Croc today would probably not feel that way, but I love Croc. Early PS1 platformers are really hit or miss, and even though Croc plays horribly, like the controls are just bad, you get used to them, and then it's actually a really fun game. I love Croc. Oh, it's a Gobbo routine. First Gobbo of the year. I think of this up. Gababa. And I come. Okay. All right. Yeah, y'all saw me play Croc. If you saw me play Croc, if not, I like Croc. Go watch those VODs. Croc 2, not a very good game. Croc 1, real good game. Mojave, don't even fucking start. Number 48. It's Deus Ex Human Revolution. I feel kind of weird putting this in my top 75, even though I really liked playing it. I don't know. It's a good game. I don't know if I would like it as much if I revisited it, because I played the sequel and I didn't like it at all. But yeah. As a Deus Ex reboot, it was surprisingly good and fun. They did a good job with it. I liked it a whole lot. I have not played it in a long time though. I feel like Human Revolution got decent attention when it was new. Mankind Divided, that's the sequel? Yeah. Deus Ex Human Revolution. Played that like 3 times around when it was new. Pretty fun. Not as good as original Deus Ex. Spoilers for the rest of the list. Oh yeah, no one talked about Mankind Divided. There was like controversy leading up to its release because they were stupid. But after that, yeah, nobody really cared. Number 47. I said I was a behemoth slut, and so Castle Crashers must be on the list. This is the game that I most anticipated ever. Like, I had never been as excited for a video game as Castle Crashers. That's how much of a dork I was. I fucking downloaded it on our 300 kilobit per second internet in the morning before school, and I watched the opening, and I was like, whoa! And then I went to school and came back, and then I played Castle Crashers, and it was really cool. It's still fun. I don't think it's anything special nowadays, now that indie games have had kind of a huge boom. Kind of a huge boom is not a very good way to say anything, but I liked Castle Crashers a lot when it came out. It was a large part of my childhood somehow. By childhood, I don't remember how old I was. Maybe I was 3, maybe I was 21. Who can say? Nobody knows how old I am. Alright, and number 46, it's Klonoa 2. Wahoo. I'm 86, so wow, was that a reference to Initial D? Klonoa 2, real good game. You should play it. Both Klonoa 1 and Klonoa 2, just real good games. I don't think they're life-changing the way that some people see them, but I think they're pretty solid 2.5D platformers. They have real cool atmosphere, surprisingly dark. Fun games. Wahoo! Flip the millipede. Line Rider? I wish Line Rider was on the list. I don't think any Flash game made the list. Alien Hominid's the closest to making the list because that was a Flash game, but I was specifically referring to the console version. I did play quite a bit of Line Rider though. Number 45! Whoop! Trauma Team! Woo! If you're gonna play a Trauma Center game, this is probably the best one. I love that the 3 games that I have redeems around were within like 5 of each other on the list. That's silly. Yeah, you might have seen me stream this game also. If you saw me stream Croc, you probably saw me stream this game. It's a good video game. I wish they had continued this series past it, but it sold like shit. Because nobody knew it was a Trauma Center sequel, and I don't think anybody knew it existed to begin with.
Initial D.
Initial D.
Initial D.
Initial D. Yeah, play Trauma Team. Good video game. 44, it's Earth Defense Force 2017. This is a game I rented from the library, and I had so much unexpected fun with it. I had 0 expectations going in, and it is such a fun game. I think the EDF formula has gotten a little played out since this game. I think it peaked with this game. It's still my favorite in the series. You just shoot a shit ton of large ants. It's really corny. Sometimes if you bring the wrong gun to a mission, you just can't beat it. I love it. There are like 20 separate levels where you just wander around in identical caverns, and sometimes you miss a single bug and you have to run backwards through the entire cavern before finding it. It has ridiculous guns, but you can't use most of them because you need at least one rocket launcher for the majority of levels. I like EDF, especially 2017. Number 43! It's Super Mario Brothers. It's Super fucking Mario. Number 42, it's DJ Max Respect. I always wanted to play the PSP DJ Max games, but I never had a PSP until a ways later. So I was really happy when it got a PS4 version. I think the PS4 version no longer exists, but the PC version is better for the most part, so it's a good rhythm game. I like it a lot. It's a pretty simple rhythm game. It's just one where you press buttons, and that's it. But there are several different modes depending on how many buttons you want to press. The music is pretty good and is... I guess a lot of mobile games have some of the songs in there now, but at the time it seemed like a fairly unique soundtrack, the original DJ Maxes. Horrendous amount of DLC, but that's just how it is with rhythm games. And I like playing it. I like to press buttons. It's true. 41, it's Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island is a good fucking game. You're just a little guy carrying around a baby. What's better than that? Many things, because Baby Mario is annoying as shit. I like Yoshi's Island though. You'll never 100% it. Nobody in history has 100%ed Yoshi's Island, but it's fun just going through the levels. There's that boss where Kamek comes in and is like, oh my! Also, I don't know if it's just me, but the original Paper Mario, I was convinced that Kamek or whoever the like named person on the broom was, I was 100% certain it was a lady, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. It turns out that is not the case, but in my headcanon it is still true. I haven't played Yoshi's Island DS. I want to do that at some point. But it's Tekken 3! First fighting game that I think I ever played. And it's still one of the best. I love Tekken 3. I would rather play Tekken 3 than modern Tekken. But that's just me. Kamakusi, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. Yeah, Tekken 3, it was really fun unlocking all the characters. It had that silly beat 'em up mode. And it wasn't... I was a fucking kid when I played it, so I didn't know what I was doing, but I had a lot of fun with it. I forget if it was Tekken 3 or Tag Tournament that had Tekken Bowl, but Tekken Bowl fucking whips ass as well. 39! It's Paper Mario! Wow, we were just talking about this game not too long ago. Yeah, Tekken Bowl is in 7, but it's no original Tekken Bowl, you know? Okay, it was in Tag. I like Tag a lot as well, but I always liked 3 a little more. But Tag had like cool versions of a lot of characters, and I was like, whoa! It also had 2 jacks, which is simply too many jacks to have in a game. Paper Mario. I feel like we've talked about this quite a bit already, but it's a really good video game. I like it more than Thousand Year Door. Maybe it's just because I played it before Thousand Year Door, but I just liked it more. It's been probably 15 years since I've played this game, so I know nothing about it anymore. I remember the Cloud boss. I remember leaving the N64 on for an hour, being convinced that something would happen after the end screen, and it didn't. And for a long time, I thought my console just broke on the end screen. It might have been the first JRPG I ever beat too, honestly. It's the Final Fantasies I never really beat as a kid. Hey paisanos, it's the Paper Mario Brothers Paper Show. Why did I didn't do a good accent there, I'm sorry. Anyway, Paper Mario, I love it. 38 is Geometry Wars 2. I talked about Geometry Wars earlier in the stream. Did you catch it? If you did, write in the time code on a sheet of paper and send it to P.O. Box 323, Alaska, for a potential to win a prize. Geometry Wars 2 is the best version of Geometry Wars. I like it. It's a twin stick shooter, and it's a really good one. It has several game modes, like the one where you go in a circle and you can only shoot when you're in the circle, but then the circle collapses and you fly out of the circle. And It has that one where you don't shoot at all. I just had a lot of fun with that game. It doesn't really tickle my fancy as much as it once did, but Geometry Wars 2, probably the best XBLA game. Egg is not the timestamp, I'm afraid. You have lost the prize. 37, it's Crash Bandicoot 3. I don't know how people feel about 3 as a whole. People I've talked to don't like it as much as like 2 because it added a bunch of silly shit like the fucking jet ski, not jet ski, I guess it is a jet ski. The jet ski levels, the plane levels, the car levels. But as a kid, I thought that was so fucking cool. As like, whoa! Crash is in a car now? What's gonna happen next? Also, it was easier than 1 and 2, so I could actually beat it, and I liked that. Unlocking power-ups was cool. I just like 3 a lot. It's my favorite in the series. Sue me. But yeah, I 100% agree that most of the minigames are no good. But when you're a kid, it's so cool being like, what? I opened this level and Crash is in a plane now? What do you mean he's in a plane? And I stand by that. Did you also get excited when Shadow the Hedgehog got to drive a car in Shadow the Hedgehog? I don't remember much about my time with Shadow the Hedgehog other than I vaguely kind of liked it. 36, it's Waka, the now deceased rhythm game. First touchscreen rhythm game that I've ever liked. I will miss Waka. It was gone too soon because it was only around for like 2 years or some shit. Maybe 3? Was it not successful? Why did it get killed off so fast? It was really fun, and you got to wave your arms around a lot, and you would put gloves on at the arcade so everyone knew that you were an idiot and laughed at you. But then you swung your arms around and they're like, whoa, how you doing that? A bad thing about Waka is that sometimes people will watch you play Waka, and I hate when people watch me play Waka, but rest in peace, Waka. I guess I've played a little Mai Mai and it just doesn't hit the same. I kind of doubt I'm gonna get into Chaotic Circle or whatever the fuck it's called either. What the fuck is that game called? The one where like the buttons rotate and there's a touch screen and shit. I don't. Chrono something. I don't know. I don't know if I'll get into that game either. Waka, the video game, is a good video game. Waka from Final Fantasy X is racist and also got the best character pregnant, so that's how you differentiate the two. Number 35, it's Cave Story. Good old Cave Story. For the longest time, this was the indie game, this was what you got. It was like, holy fuck, one person made this game? Because that just wasn't much of a thing at the time. Like, Toho existed, but Toho wasn't really as big over here, I guess. Cave Story was free, and it was better than most paid games, and one person made it, and the music's good, and the art is cute, and the girl is cute, the girl is cute, and you get a gun, and you get a machine gun, and there's that stupid jump where if you do it wrong, you get the bad end, and the girl is cute. Curly's cute. Still one of the best Metroidvanias, I think. There are endless good Metroidvanias available now, but Cave Story, real good video game. Yeah, Cave Story I think I also played some of at school. Games I played on the school computer from a flash drive included Touhou 11, Unreal 1, Super Crate Box. Super Crate Box, fun video game. And number 34, it's Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Sorry, Mojave. Unreal World? Not yet. Not what? I got confused. I'm gonna flip back now. The blood is rushing to my head. Whoa! Oh, I said Unreal 1. The first person shooter, Unreal. Alright, number 34, it's Castlevania Symphony of the Night. What a stupid video game. I love it. It's so fucking stupid. The inverted castle sucks. There are a billion ways to break the game. It's so good. I don't know what else to say. It's the stupidest video game, and I love it. Alright, it's number 33. Ace Combat 6. This is my favorite of the Ace Combat games. 4 and 5 and 0 are also pretty good. 6 was the first one I played, so maybe that's why it's my favorite. I did know that Alucard's Dracula spelled backwards. Also, there's that scene where you go in the weird save point, and Alucard is like, "Mother! I'm coming!" Incredible video game. So much weird shit happens. Ace Combat 6, also an incredible video game. You fly a plane. It has the EDF formula where it's like there are so many people in the EDF, but somehow you're just better than all of them for no particular reason, and everyone's like, "Whoa, did you see that? How'd they do that?" Ace Combat does that too. I love Ace Combat and banning spammers in the chat. Ace Combat, you get to like fly a plane through tunnels and shit. It's so over the top. It has its own universe, so you don't have to worry about real world politics, except that one game where they made it real world politics and that was bad. Good video game. I need to replay it sometime. It's been a long time. Number 32, it's Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. A lot of Metroidvanias kind of shoved in this little spot here, huh? I like Aria of Sorrow a little bit more than Symphony of the Night. It's less stupid, but I think it is a more polished and a slightly better game overall. Doesn't overstay its welcome. It's on the GBA. What's better than that? Girls being Alucard. GBA. Girls Beaten Aria of Sorrow. GBA. It's better than the other GBA Castlevanias, and it's better than the DS Castlevanias I've played. So if you like Symphony of the Night, you owe it to yourself to play Aria of Sorrow. Probably not Dawn of Sorrow, though. That one's not as good. Number 31, it's Rock Band. This is another one where it feels weird putting it on now because I have no real desire to ever play Rock Band again, but Rock Band was so cool. After Guitar Hero like became crazy, you got Rock Band and there were drums and shit and you could sing poorly and it still registered as long as you changed the notes right. Yeah, this game got me into like so much music that I just wouldn't have otherwise. It was really cool. The guitar that shipped with the game sucked. You had to play it with the Guitar Hero 2 or 3 controller, or else it would have been bad. I was never very good at Rock Band either, but I think I like Rock Band slightly more than Guitar Hero 2 or 3, which is why it's here instead of those, but all games that influenced the music I listened to back in the day. I was a fucking brat who did not get into music until middle school, and even then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to this metal guitar cover of the Super Mario Brothers theme song. And that was what I listened to, that and Crazy Frog. So when I played Guitar Hero and Rock Band and shit, I think that was the first time where I was really like, oh, music is cool, huh? So I thank you for that, Rock Band. It's number 30, Money Puzzle Exchanger. God, Money Puzzle Exchanger is good. It's so fucking good. What if you took small amounts, like small denominations of currency, and grabbed the small denominations of currency and threw them to make larger denominations of currency, and sometimes you can make a chain that produces even larger denominations of currency, and it goes bing bing bing, and it's a nightmare to play because you're having a heart attack the entire time. I fucking love Money Puzzle Exchanger. Oh yeah, it's impossible. Like, never play against the CPU. I love it. You get Debt Miser. Wonderful. There's that awful bear boy. Bear? The kid's dressed as a bear, right? I don't remember. He has the worst patterns though, so don't choose him. Oh yeah, Dog Boy probably. You're probably right. Hoscon, hello. Number 29, it's Persona 3. Persona is a hell of a series in that I'm so fucking sick of people saying how good Persona is because there are games that are much better than Persona. I never want to hear about Persona 5 ever again. Stop talking about it. Stop it! But Persona 3, it was the first type of this style of Persona game I like that came out, you know? And it was really cool. It's still my favorite because the vibes are incredible. It's got just a great atmosphere. the dungeon crawling is total bullshit. You can't control your party members. It's wonderful. Persona 4 and 5, I don't think I'll ever play again, but Persona 3, I'm like, yeah, this game is cool. I love this. It's the dark hour or whatever. I don't know. Never talk to me about Persona. Number 28. Trails in the Sky, second chapter. I said I was a Trails slut and you didn't believe me, but now there's another Trails game on here. Oh, jeez. I've never played the Answer arc, but it seems like it's pretty universally disliked. So I don't really plan on playing it. Trails in the Sky, second chapter. Again, the Trails game is the Trails series. It's just really fucking good. You gotta play them. I'm not one of the purists who is like, you gotta play them in order or else you won't enjoy them as much, because I don't think that's true. If you want to play Trails of Cold Steel, play that. If you want to play Trails from Zero, play that. Or you could start with Trails in the Sky. Do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not your fucking mom as much as you wish. Second chapter is... the weird thing about Trails games is that the first game in the sub-series is always going to be like fairly tame compared to the second. And I really, really love the series. I highly recommend it, except Cold Steel 3 and 4. Yeah, it was pretty much impossible to do it in English anyways, but every Trails person is like, no, you gotta play them in order, the law! Which is not really why I like those games, so. Number 27, it's Final Fantasy VII. This is a game where if I played it when it came out, I think it would be my favorite game ever made. Like, the shit they were doing in that game for the time is just insane. Like, it's so cool, you know? You're blowing up a reactor in the very beginning of the game. You're environmental terrorists. You go and do shit, and then you leave the town, and then you do other shit, and Cloud falls into prehistoric goop. I didn't really appreciate this game much as a kid because I played 9 before it, so I never really got like the exposure to how cool it was at the time. And in retrospect, I think it is a very cool video game. The translation sets it back a lot. And it's mostly just the translation that makes that game a fucking mess, but it does have the problems where it's like you can just fucking miss party members, miss huge parts of the plot, which is not the best design, I don't think, but you know, that's just how they did things. Baxter, howdy. Yeah, they'll never re-TL it properly. I do want to someday play the fan translation that like completely retranslates the game. I've heard mixed things about it. In that it's like kind of too faithful if you're used to American Final Fantasy, but I'll check it out sometime. There is a whole YouTube series about the translation if you would like to learn more. Yeah. FanTL reads much better in English. I see. Someone also ported the fan translation back to the PlayStation version, so you don't have to play the PC version, but I'm afraid that it's going to fucking crash the game. Or is it's not accurate per se. I see. Yeah, the problem with Final Fantasy VII's main translation, it's so much of it is so hard to follow. Like, as an adult, you can piece things together and figure out what's happening, but as a kid, I was so fucking lost. I had no idea what was happening halfway through the game. It was pretty bad. But I don't know. It's still a good game. It's got good vibes. Confused in the intro. Oh no. Number 26. It's Touhou Spell Bubble. The competitive puzzle gamers in the chat may fault me for putting this above Money Puzzle Exchanger, but this game is incredible. What if you had, Puzzle Bobble, but then there was a rhythm game and too much was happening all the time and you feel like all of your blood vessels are gonna burst, and Touhou music is playing, there's women in it. It's such a cool game. I really wish it was on PC and had online, because every time I play it, I'm like, this is just the best. Go play Touhou Spell Bubble if you can. It's in English. Do it. It's kind of wild that a Touhou fan game finally beat out the main Touhou games for me. I never really thought that would happen because most fan games didn't grab my eye, but I guess this isn't a fan game per se, it's developed by Taito, but Touhou Spell Bubble. It fucks. Number 25, Tales of Berseria. This is the only Tales game on the list, I think. Strictly because... well, no, that's not really true. I think almost every Tales game has a lot of problems that set it back from being fantastic. Tales of Vesperia is really good, but then it has 3 different directors, so the acts are all over the place. Xillia and Xillia 2 are so fucking weird, and I love them for that. But they're also complete messes. 2 in particular has the best Tales combat that has ever happened. You might argue that Arise is better, but Xillia 2's is so good. It's like, what if you were playing an anime fighter, but you didn't have to know how to play an anime fighter to do good at it. Tales of Berseria, the combat is not as good as Tales of Xillia, but 1, you play as a feral woman seeking revenge. 2, Magilu is in it. 3, Aizen and Rokuro are in it. 4, the plot is actually good and easy to follow. That's the problem with a lot of Tales games, is it just goes off the rails later on, but Berseria stays fairly grounded in what it tries to do. It's like a really dark approach to the Tales games as a whole. You play as a woman. She's fucked up and really cool. If you like women, you gotta play Tales of Berseria. Even if you like men, you gotta play Tales of Berseria, because it's got good men too. it's a real shame that to get the absolute full story, you would have to play Tales of Zestiria. What a terrible game that is, but you don't actually have to play Zestiria. When you see that this is a prequel to it, you might be like, oh, maybe I should check out that Zestiria game. Don't do it. Trash video game. The characters are good. That's the saving grace of like every Tales game, is they have good party members, but Berseria is the best overall one. I love Velvet. I love Magilu. I am gay. I think the SimCity soundtrack ended. Let me find something else to put on. Let's see here. I'm so sorry. Let's see here. I am going to put on the Mega CD soundtrack of Shin Megami Tensei at 128 kilobits a second. Number 24, Burnout Paradise. That's right, a racing game in the top 25 games of all time. Who would have thought? Oh god, I'm gonna choke. I drank the water wrong. I'm okay now. Burnout Paradise wasn't the first open world racer, but I think it was the first one that really did it spectacularly. I'm sorry, Tanuki. I would like you to look at number 49 on the board. Burnout Paradise. It was so fun at the time. It was so good. You're a silly little car and you drive around and you race and you're in Paradise City and that Guns N' Roses song plays a lot. And it feels cool because you're driving a car around while it plays. I like the other Burnout games, but this one I enjoyed a lot more. I would rather... I don't know if the servers are still up at all, but God, I would rather play more Burnout Paradise than whatever Forza Horizon is out. I don't really even know why, it's just... I would so much rather play Burnout Paradise than any other open world racer. Yeah, it felt like the peak of the kind of open world racing genre, and they haven't really done much since. I've seen Guns N' Roses live, and let me tell you, I have nothing to say, actually. It was okay. Slash does a 20-minute guitar solo every show now because he's Slash, and it's really boring if you're not really into guitar solos. I don't know. They still sound okay, not the worst. They are definitely a band. Number 23, it's Street Fighter 4, specifically Ultra Street Fighter 4. This is my favorite Street Fighter. You might like 2 or 3 more, or Alpha 2 or 3 more, and you would be valid for thinking that. I just really like 4 for some reason. It just clicks with me in a way the other Street Fighters don't, even 5 doesn't. I need to put more time into it, honestly. I was not really much of a fighting game player when it was at its peak, so I've only played with a couple of friends, but it just feels so good to play. And Cammy is so good in it. And Cammy's ass is always out. Wow. Wow. Number 22! It's Final Fantasy XIV. Who could have predicted that I would put Final Fantasy XIV on here? Actually, I don't know if people would have thought that. I think there is a wide misconception that I hate this game now. I don't hate it, I just don't want to play it right now. Shadowbringers, real good. Like, I started 14 when I was like heavily depressed, right? And I just kind of charged through the base game and first expansion. So I didn't get a ton out of those. And then Stormblood, some of it was cool, some of it I didn't really care about. Shadowbringers was the first expansion where it like actually felt like a Final Fantasy game to me. It's very Final Fantasy type storytelling, and it was just my life for a couple of years. I wouldn't not be able to put it on here because it was literally the thing that kept me alive for a couple of years. It's the only game I've ever like done hardcore content in, like multiplayer game. Maybe someday I'll go back and play that last expansion. Someday. My main, when I was raiding, I would play Summoner, but I know they've changed Summoner since I last played it. I like White Mage a lot. I think Shadowbringers made White Mage pretty easy to play, but it was also just really fun to play. Scholar's pretty fun, but I like Summoner more. Summoner and White Mage more. Yeah, it's the only MMO I've ever gotten into, and hopefully the only one I ever will get into. I would have a hard time getting into it again, I think, but I do want to play the last expansion at some point, so at some point I will. Also, Emmett Selk is very hot. I'm just saying. Number 21, it's Super Mario 64. You didn't expect that, did ya? Maybe you did, I don't know. Again, along with Sunshine, it's like... it's fun because it's so miserable sometimes. When the game is constantly just like, oh, you just want to jump on this platform, huh? Fuck you, and then dumps you into the abyss. And you just miss the same jump 30 times because it's a weird slope. Or Mario does some shit he's not supposed to and it ruins your life. I just love that shit. Like, Mario Odyssey did nothing for me. Really, like, it was fine, but it didn't really do anything for me. I need my 3D Mario to just hate me. I want Mario to come out of the screen and tell me that I should suck his dick, and if I say no, he'll shove it in my mouth. I don't know why I said it like that, but Mario 64 I liked a lot. Someday I'll play 64 DS. Number 20! It's Tetris. I never really figured out which Tetris this is, so I just put Tetris on the list. I love Tetris. Game Boy Tetris Like NES and Game Boy Tetris, real good games, but I think Tetris was perfected when you got block storage and you could like rotate things against the wall and you could do T-spins and shit. I don't know when that was all brought into the Tetris canon, but Tetris is just so fun to play. Tetris or Super Mario Land, I think, was the first game I ever played. And the fact that I still think Tetris is so good really says a lot about it. It's they got it. They figured it out. Tetris just it's good. Tetris 99 pretty fun. Puyo Puyo Tetris, I have no idea how to play Puyo Puyo, but it's fun. Let's see, number 19, Radiant Historia. The DS JRPG that Atlus re-released on 3DS after the 3DS was dead and changed things to make it a worse game. Woo! This is another one where it's been a really long time since I've played it, so I don't have like super strong feelings or like words to be said about it. I just know in my heart I loved it a whole lot. It has a really cool combat system. It's time travel. I'm pretty sure it made me cry, maybe, probably. You should play Radiant Historia if you like JRPGs. That's what I've got to say about it. Number 18, it's Ghost Trick. Woo! Like I said earlier, if you're listening to my Gamefly rant, Ghost Trick was one of the many games I played on through Gamefly. And you know, I think it's better than Ace Attorney, I'll say it. It's not as gay as Ace Attorney, which is a problem, don't get me wrong. But gameplay-wise, I think it's really fun. There's a cool little dog in it. You get to make things fall on people's heads. They released it on iPad or some shit. But it was originally a DS game. And you should play it on the DS or an emulator, or I guess your iPhone, I don't fucking know. Ghost Trick is a good game. A really good puzzle game. And I think it's a lot of the same team as Ace Attorney. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's why I associate the two. You play as a dead guy. That's always fun. Being a little dead guy going around being like, woo, I'm dead, woo! Yeah. Play Ghost Trick. I love that as I go up the list, I have like less to say. I'm just like, yeah, it's a good game, you know? I love video game. Number 17. It's Soul Calibur 5. A game that is objectively worse than Soul Calibur 2. But I like it more because it's the first fighting game that I ever like had a community to play with. And it was people at my skill level, which is to say shitty, but there was one guy who was really good. And he would kick my ass, and I'd just go over to his house and he would kick my ass 200 times. And I would have so much fun doing that. Having local friends to play fighting games with. It's the way to play fighting games. And Soul Calibur 5 is how I experienced that. I do like 5 more than 6. I wanted to like 6. 6 does some good stuff, but it does some very bad stuff also. Soul Calibur 5. Oh boy, we're on to the next row. Number 16. What could it be? I don't remember. It's Higurashi no Naku Koroni. Is that this? I think I only have 2 visual novels on this whole list. Pretty impressive if you think about it. I haven't finished Umineko, which is why it has not made the list. It probably will once I finish it, but who can say for sure? Higurashi. It's a lot better than the anime. I haven't seen the new anime, but it's probably better than that too. You should read Higurashi. The first chapter is free on Steam, and it's pretty cool. I was never like a person who was trying to solve the mysteries of Higurashi or Umineko while going through them either. I just really like the characters. The storytelling is great. Every chapter is just pretty fun, except the ones that are kind of miserable. I think it's 6, maybe? 3? I think 3 was miserable and maybe one other one was miserable, but I love Higurashi. You get to go play with your friends, and that's all that ever happens. You just go to school, play some board games, what a great life. Play with mods or the classic floppy hands. When I first read it, I just did the base for most of it. I know people hate the Manga Gamer sprites. I think they're okay. I don't really like the PS3 sprites of Higurashi that much. If I were to read it again, I'd just do the original sprites. They're charming. They're very silly. I like them. Now the Umineko PS3 sprites, those are pretty good. Pretty good. I think my biggest problem with the like PS3 versions of those is that they changed the backgrounds, and I think the cool Photoshop filtered backgrounds are one of the best parts of the atmosphere. I don't know. I think they're real good. Number 15. It's Neon White. Talk about recency bias. This music is not really coming through, I don't think. Let's put on the Machinex remix soundtrack. Neon White. You probably saw me stream this last year if you watched me stream last year, maybe. Maybe you didn't, because I only streamed it a few times. You hate the people that did the music for Neon White. Doinks, that's simply not true. You're lying to me. Neon White, really fun game. I liked it way more than I expected to. I put like 70 plus hours into it, and then I kind of got tuckered out on it, but I think I'll come back someday. It's got Machine Girl music. I kind of landed in the middle on the story. I know some people really didn't like the writing. Some people really loved it. I kind of landed in the middle. But it's like if they made Lovely Planet an even better game, and Lovely Planet is already a pretty fucking cool game. Yeah, it was just really fun grinding my times down and playing the video game. I hope they do like DLC levels for it sometime. Number 14, Unreal Life, more recency bias. I always make people play Unreal Life, and by that I mean I bug them, until they play Unreal Life. It has not been the most successful campaign, but I did get Ricky to play it, so you know, not bad. Honestly, Ghost Trick is a lot like Unreal Life, but probably better in most ways. But it's been a long time since I played Ghost Trick, so I like Unreal Life more at this current moment. It's a really cool indie game. It's one that I just took a gamble on. I saw it on Steam. I was like, this seems cool, and I bought it. Played it in a couple of days. It is a game that made me cry a whole lot. The art is pretty. I'm not always big on the it's not really 2D HD or whatever the fuck they call it. But it's like pixel art with a shit ton of effects layered over it. I think it works pretty well in this game, but not all games it works for. Yeah, play Unreal Life. Not 2.5D, like Square Enix, like the thing that Triangle Strategy does and those other games do. Anyway, you should play Unreal Life. Number 13, it's Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2. It's just a really good co-op game. I would play Left 4 Dead 2 right this second. I would do it. I love Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead, I think, has some better levels, but Left 4 Dead 2 has those levels in it now, and you can play with mods and be an anime girl if you want. I still have not played the new levels because nobody ever plays them with me. I'm always like, hey, if we're playing Left 4 Dead, let's play those new levels. And they're like, I haven't played Left 4 Dead in a while. Let's start from the beginning. And then I cry and punch the wall, and then I'm like, okay. And it's still fun, but I want to check out the new levels. And Alarak, howdy. Yeah, I'd probably the best co-op shooter, I would say. Probably. I haven't played a better one. Sorry, Halo. I haven't played you co-op. I loved Left 4 Dead 2. Number 12. It's Metal Slug. This was another one where I couldn't really figure out which Metal Slug I wanted to put on here, so I just did the first one. The first three are all pretty good. The run and gun formula is perfected with Metal Slug, and it's never been beaten. Metal Slug is such a good-looking game. It's silly. You shoot a lot of stuff. Someday I want to do a 1-credit clear of it, but I might go insane practicing for that, so maybe not. I played like all of the Metal Slugs. Oh, so one of the Metal Slugs I played in a hotel arcade, and I thought it was the coolest shit ever. And then I rented the PlayStation 2 Metal Slug Anthology, which is where I played the majority of the games. But anytime I run across Metal Slug in an arcade, I just want to play Metal Slug and use all my quarters playing Metal Slug. Metal Slug. Metal Slug. It's number 11, Sound Voltex. I love Sound Voltex. I think Museka didn't make this list because it's like ultra dead, but Museka was also a good game that is dead. I just want to remind you Museka existed. Sound Voltex is my favorite currently online rhythm game. I love to twist knobs and press buttons. Sound Voltex is a weird series because when I dreamed of having like an arcade close to me where I could play Japanese rhythm games, I was like, I think this seems okay, but I would rather play Beatmania. And now that I've played them both, I would just much rather play Sound Voltex over Beatmania. I think it's mostly because I'm just not very good at Beatmania. I want to get better at Beatmania, but the home versions of it are not particularly good. And the Sound Voltex home versions are much better. Look forward to more Sound Voltex streams in 2023. Good game. Number 10, it's the Silver Case, which is, I need to play Killer 7 because like I loved the Silver Case so much, and Killer 7 is probably better. I don't fucking know, but if it's like the Silver Case, I know I will like it. Oh, the Silver Case is also kind of a VN, so I guess that counts too. Yeah, it's a Suda51 game. I think it might be the first one from Grasshopper Interactive. It got a PC, kind of remake, kind of remaster a while back, which is the only way to play it in English as far as I know. It is it does the kind of storytelling I love, where it's like it'll be following a serious story, then something fucking stupid happens, and then things get all wacky for a while for no real reason. And then things go to other things. Things just happen. I like when things happen in video games. Like I'm playing Final Fantasy VI, right? And things just happen in that, and it's the best. Like, I love when... I can't explain how much I adore when things just happen. Like, I feel like a lot of modern storytelling in games feels the need to set stuff up too much. Whereas most of the games I love, it's just like using Final Fantasy VI as an example, you're just on a ghost train now because your himbo party members walked onto a ghost train. Fight the train now, idiot. That's the best thing that's ever been done. If they like gave a good reason why you went on the ghost train, it would suck. But no, you're just on a ghost train. And I love that kind of storytelling. Anyway, the Silver Case is a very bizarre game in which many things happen, many of which don't really make sense on first play, and maybe not even third play. Some of it is kind of bad, on purpose even. I love Suda because he makes things bad on purpose. Play the Silver Case if you like Suda. If you like Killer 7, if you like Better Call Saul, what's the one with Travis Touchdown? I know it's not Better Call Saul, but it's like a name like that. No More Heroes, that's the video game. Basically Better Call Saul. Yeah, The Silver Case is a game that is impossible to talk about. You just have to play it. Just go do that. After this stream, just go buy the Silver Case and play that. You should probably play it. Number 9, it's Gran Turismo 3. That's right, folks, a racing game in the top 10 games of all time. Who could have thought? If I had Gran Turismo 2 before 3, it could very easily have taken three's spot. 3 is just the one that stuck with me, so, and it was the first one I played, so that's how it ended up here. But Gran Turismo, that's a name that used to mean something. God damn it. I played a little bit of the new Gran Turismo, and it's so weird because it's the exact same game as Gran Turismo 3, but with like modern design sensibilities behind it. The menus, it's like you're navigating the language learning software. I don't like it. I don't like it. But then Gran Turismo 3 does the exact same thing and has 2000s menuing. And it fucking rules. You get your licenses. If you're an idiot kid, you just run the same first race over and over until you can get a really fast car so you can progress easier. Like, this is the game that made me like cars, which is like a lot of people who like video games are like, why do you silly Forza players like your cars so much? You like your round tires? You like your cars? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. I love cars. They go fast and they're cool and awesome. Gran Turismo 3 is the game that started that for me. The menus are just wonderful to use. And when I came back to this game, after playing some of 7, I was like, you know, I probably won't like this nearly as much as I used to, but I would still rather play this than almost any other racing game. I just love Gran Turismo 3. I love it. You get a shitty Lenny Kravitz song playing if you live in America. If you're in Europe, you get cool songs. If you're in Japan, you get an original soundtrack. It's also, okay, a problem I have with modern racing sim games. You just get cars shit on you all the time. Like Gran Turismo 3, you have enough to buy one really shitty car, and you do that. And then you gotta either save up a shit ton of money, or beat the first like 3 races with a gold to get a gift car, which is still not a very good car. Cars don't come easy in life, you know. But these new racing games, they're just like, oh, you want a fucking car? Well, you pre-ordered this game, so have 30 fucking cars. Oh, you won this race, have 30 fucking cars. And I'm sick of it. I want like 3 cars that I work my ass off to get. And then I save up and get a Dodge Viper, and I'm like, this thing sucks, I can't turn. Why did I buy this Dodge Viper? Video games. Number 8, it's Super Mario World, the best Mario game. Super Mario World, it's Super fucking Mario, you know? I think Super Mario 1 and 3, like, you could easily argue they're better games than Super Mario World. Super Mario World, you can cheese a ton of the levels, but it's got a sense of exploration in it that's really fun without feeling overwhelming like a lot of 2D platformers with big levels. Like, even Yoshi's Island, the levels feel too big sometimes, but Super Mario World, they just do a good job with. They're bite-sized levels, but there's still so much to find. It's wonderful. And you jump and you spin jump. The spin jump, greatest thing Mario's ever done. I think he forgot how to do it, but God, that is overpowered. He should have kept spin jumping, idiot. Why'd you stop? Come on, Mario, spin jump again. I'm begging you. Super Mario World. If you want really hard Super Mario World, there's a billion ROM hacks too. It's Super fucking Mario, you know. You know. Oh geez, we are really going through things now. I'm gonna drink some more water. Yeah, I do like the art style of it a lot too. Super Mario World. Real good. Number 7. It's the 7 for you and me. It's Trails of Cold Steel 2. Sorry. You said I was a Trails slut, and you didn't believe me. And then you didn't believe me twice. And now 3 times in my top 75 games, I've put another Trails game. Sorry about it. Trails of Cold Steel 2 is so good. It's the only game that's really like made me care about every single NPC in a JRPG universe. Like, there are just dozens and dozens of side characters where it's like, I shouldn't give a shit about you, but holy shit, it's you. I'm so happy to see you. I felt things for NPCs in a video game. I knew their names. And then, Trails of Cold Steel 3 was a good game for about half the way, and then it really went downhill. And then Trails of Cold Steel 4 was really, really bad, and it ruined everything Trails of Cold Steel 2 did. Like, almost all of that game is ruined by Trails of Cold Steel 4. The stupidest fucking video game Falcom has ever made. Fuck you, Falcom. You'd better make a better video game. I hope Hajimari's better than 4, because that was a piece of shit. Do better, Falcom. But 2, yeah, it has so many emotional moments, and not just like the like kind of obligatory cry scene that a lot of JRPGs have. You just like, you go through a lot of emotions playing it. You grow really attached to the characters through Cold Steel 1, and then 2 is just banger after banger. Really, really good video game. It's a shame that Trails of Cold Steel 4 exists and ruined it. Can you tell that I don't like Trails of Cold Steel 4? Number 6. It's Bloodstained. Bloodstained is basically if Symphony of the Night got a sequel and was even stupider than Symphony of the Night was. And you know I love stupid shit. I don't know what to say other than that. My music stopped playing. I need new music to listen to. Not the Persona 3 soundtrack, because people might think I'm a Persona fan. I don't want that. Let's put on the Radiant Historia soundtrack. I have that. I do. Yeah, Bloodstained. It's my favorite Igavania game. Favorite Metroidvania too, I guess. It's just so stupid, and there's so much bullshit in it that doesn't need to be there. They just kind of put it in because why not? Like, that's what Symphony of the Night did that a lot of other Castlevanias didn't. There's just stupid shit everywhere. You can break the game so easily. You can get fucking glasses that zoom in the screen for no reason other than a silly little joke. There are so many silly little jokes in the gameplay for no reason. I love when video games do that. Number 5. Deus Ex. The first one. This is like the only American, like Western RPG that I've really gotten into. Not that I've tried that many of them. And it's so fucking good. You're a silly guy, you're wearing sunglasses, his vision is augmented. I love Deus Ex. It's another one it's been a while since I've played it, but you get a sword and it's so overpowered that you can just kill everything with a sword in a game where you're supposed to have like all these play options, like, oh, you can sneak around, you can hack, you can crawl through this toxic gas if you've upgraded. No, you get a stupid sword and you whack people in the back and you win the game. It doesn't get any better than that. Part of the game probably has not aged very well, but that's the reality of 2000s media. Deus Ex. You should probably play it. Number 4, it's a Dungeon Encounters. Dungeon Encounters. I get so happy whenever I think about Dungeon Encounters. It's like they just made a game for me with Dungeon Encounters. It's just, they just made a video game for me. It made me so happy. It's just, why did Square Enix release it? I don't know, but I'm so glad they did. Yeah, exactly. There are so many things in the game that are just blatantly stupid. You can fall in a hole and fall off the map, and all of your party members get scattered. And you can't use them again until you form a new party to go find them. I love it. It's a game where, like, I saw 3 seconds of it and I was like, God, I need to play this. And I'm so glad I did. Dungeon Encounters. It's not for everybody, but if it is, I love Dungeon Encounters so much. There's no story. There's like a slight story if you want there to be. All of the music is electric guitar covers of public domain music. It's so stupid. And you run around a silly little crossword puzzle with numbers on it, and the numbers do things, and you gotta sometimes the numbers are bad things, so you gotta remember the numbers. Sometimes there are holes. There are weapons where it's like deals random damage up to 50,000. And they mean random. Like you can roll a D of 50,000 and get a 2 when you really need like 10,000 damage. What? I love video games. I love Dungeon Encounters. Number 3, we're in the home stretch now, folks. Number 3. Yeah, I think XCOM does that too. I haven't really played XCOM. Metal Gear Solid 2! Woo! What a good game. Did you say nerd? Metal Gear Solid is a weird series. I think 1 does some cool stuff, some really cool stuff. And then I played 2 and it just blew my mind that that game came out in like 2001 or whatever. The shit it does is so good and so gay sometimes, and Raiden's nude sometimes, and Raiden can slip on bird shit and fall. And if you stand in the bugs for too long, your ration gets a bug on it and you gotta shake it off the ration. And they do a silly bait and switch that people have been mad about for 20 fucking years. That rules. Strangely enough, like I've played most of 3 and I just don't really feel anything special towards it. But 2 is... I played it and I was like, holy fuck. How did this come out when it came out? What? 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 It was also a game that I kind of hated playing while I was playing it. And I still love it so much that I put it at number 3. 2 and 3 are two sides of a brain disease coin. Hello. Yeah, like... I think part of it is that the setting of 2 is a lot more interesting to me. The, like... I don't know, the jungle stuff in 3 and, like, the Cold War and all that, it just doesn't do much for me. Whereas in 2, you're in a silly hexagon building, and you run around a bunch of hexagons. And I think that's better than the jungle. I don't know, like the Ocelot just doesn't do much for me. The Fujos are gonna kill me for saying this, but Ocelot just doesn't do much for me. I like Raiden. I fucking love that guy. Yeah, the funny thing about 3 is Kojima just makes games that you think of when you're like 12 and don't really understand how video games work. Like the healing mechanic, I thought of that in like when I was 10. And I was like, why don't games let you like break your bones and then you can heal your bones by wrapping your bones up? And then Metal Gear Solid 3 does that. It's so funny. And it turns out some of that is really good, and some is as wacky as you would expect. I'm hoping I'll like 4 more than 3, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just really love 2, and the rest of the series will be take it or leave it from me. Alright, number 2. Final Fantasy IX. Woo! This was the first Final Fantasy game I played, so that's probably why it's still my favorite Final Fantasy game. This is the nostalgia winner of the board, because it's one of the only games that I have really strong nostalgia for. Like, I'll boot this up, and the opening cutscene has just made me cry before. Like, the little reel that plays when you boot the game up, that's just made me cry. There are at least 9 games in this so-called Final Fantasy franchise. MGS4, not great for us MGS2 sickos, uh-oh. Yeah, 9 Final Fantasy IX. The vibes, you know? Like, all things considered, I should love 7 way more than 9, because 7 is a silly sci-fi world. You're blowing shit up all the time. I don't care about, like, standard fantasy shit. And 9 does a lot of standard fantasy shit, but I just love existing in Final Fantasy IX. And Vivi, so wonderful. Little boy Vivi. And black mages. Yeah, and 9 is another game where things just kind of happen, you know. Honestly, Final Fantasy is so good at the things just happen theory. Like 8, fuck it, you're in space now, okay? You went to space, got it? You're in space. What a good series. Yeah, Freya is great. And the introduction of Freya is just incredible. Like, Burmecia, as a kid, I was like, whoa. It's like a real town and people are dying and... Oh, Gilamazook! His grotto! I have no real way to describe how 9 makes me feel because I just really love it. And it's probably interchangeable with number 1. Like I said, this is the nostalgia winner. Oh, also, very, very important. Very important. The main villain of Final Fantasy IX is so fucking twinky that even as like a fucking kid who is like, no, I'm straight, I like girls, cause you know, like being transgender, you're like, I was a little boy at some point. It's hard to think about, I know, but I was like, no, I like girls, and even I felt things for that fucking twink. No, I'm not talking about Queen Braun or Necrid. Kuja. Kuja is the twinkiest fuck to ever exist. Love that guy. Love him. And number 1. It's Etrian Odyssey 3. Yeah, I like Etrian Odyssey, it's true. If you didn't know that about me, it's true, I like Etrian Odyssey a lot. 3 is unfortunately the hardest one in the series to find because, you know, they just kinda... I had to drink water. So like 1 and 2, right, they did their silly little remakes. They never did that with 3. I'm kind of glad because 3, unlike 1 and 2, has like a kind of a story, like things happen in it. Whereas 1 and 2 are just like, hey, go explore this dungeon, yeah? So I'm glad they didn't do the weird story mode add-on for 3, but it's now like $300 to buy used, unfortunately. But just get a flash card and play it. Yeah, this is the game that really introduced me to the dungeon crawler genre. I bought it like when it was new, right? and I kind of liked it, but it was too hard for me. And then years later, I went back to it. And I was just like, this is the best. You just walk through the first floor like 30 times because you can't walk too far or your whole party will get murdered. You never have enough money. Your equipment's always shit. You actually have to like consider your party composition. I can't really say why Etrian Odyssey sticks so much better for me than SMT games do, but I think part of it is that you can really just plan out your party from the start of the game, and sometimes you'll get to a certain ability and be like, oh, this isn't nearly as good as I thought it would be. And then you need to train a whole new guy up or deal with your subpar party, and it's a really hard game, so you're gonna have a bad time dealing with your subpar party. It's just real fun. You're wandering through a labyrinth, danger at every turn. The thing that the DS games do that is really fucking good is the foes, the FOEs, which has a really stupid acronym that I think they then retconned out. They're just giant glowing balls of light, and it's terrifying because you're just like, why is this large ball of light chasing me? What lies behind this? I don't want to find out. There's like the underwater world with all the silly currents, the magma world, the weird Japanese world with all the torii and shit that teleport you around. What a good game. Incredible soundtrack. That's one thing I feel like I didn't talk about that much on this whole list of soundtracks, but did I say Ghost Trick has a good soundtrack? Because Ghost Trick has a very good soundtrack. That one deserves a mention. Yeah, the pirate ship stuff in 3 is not the best, but you can ignore it if you want to. And it's like such a bare bones story, but there are so many bizarre reveals in it nonetheless. And I really like dungeon crawlers, it turns out. I want to play the Dark Spire for the DS. I think I'll like that a lot too. Yeah, dungeon encounters, Etrian Odyssey 3. Similar games. Any questions, chat? Chat, how are you today? Are you doing good? Are you swirling your hoo-haws? You're grunking your bunkus? Ever checked out Experience Inc.'s dungeon crawlers? I'm not familiar, no. I really want to play Labyrinth of Touhou, or whatever that series is called. It's like basically Etrian Odyssey, but with Touhou. I've heard really good things about that. I gotta play that. Ren, what would say number 76 is? Whatever you want it to be. I really need to play wizardry games. It's such a weird series because like the originals existed and then it just kind of shifted over to being a Japanese franchise, and I don't really know where to get started, but everything I've heard about all of the games, it seems like something I would enjoy quite a bit. This is the Radiant Historia soundtrack, which is also pretty good. I will say, I'm about to About a cough. I will say, I think Final Fantasy 7 and 8 have better soundtracks than 9. That's my biggest attraction from 9. It has some good songs, but 7 and 8, those songs are just always with me in a way that a lot of 9 songs aren't. The Ice Cavern in 9, that's a song. That's a song. Well, a stream where I talk for 2.5 hours when I am incapable of forming sentences is pretty cool. Pretty fun. I don't want to work tomorrow. Fuck work. Can I just be paid to talk about video games instead? I like video games. I like to talk about video games. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, this was all I had planned for the stream, so I mean... I don't know. Start at 1 or 6, I see. I feel like I bought some of them on GOG at some point. Maybe. Probably. I don't know. Yeah. If my internet isn't shitting and farting, I'll have a Parasite Eve stream later this week. I guess I'll allow this message doinks. I don't really know what it means, but I will allow it. Yeah, so this whole stream was on Wi-Fi, and I only dropped 95 frames, but before I restarted the router, I was dropping so many fucking frames, so I don't really know what happened there. I'm trying to figure out a better connection in general here, but it's tough. Hopefully I get something figured out. Who's streaming right now? Twitch.tv. Don't autoplay, please. That's right, Maple. Maple raids me a lot, but I don't get the chance to raid her as often. Yeah, I just want to run an Ethernet cable, but it's hard with the current living arrangement to get other people on board with that. Alright, thanks for welcoming me back, everyone. I'm hoping my internet will be stable enough and I'll be settled down in a week or so. And I should hopefully be back to normal soon. Gaffer tape. Is that a British term for a different kind of tape, or is that just a type of tape? Gaffer tape is a USA manufactured tape. How is gaffer tape different from other tapes? Sometimes confused with duct tape, gaffer tape differs in the composition of both the backing, which is made from fabric as opposed to vinyl or other plastics, and the adhesive, which is more resistant to heat and more easily removed without damaging the surface to which it adhered. Good to know. Bye!